Hey everybody, welcome to a new video. So today we're gonna be talking about can immigrants or non-Norwegians call themselves Norwegians. So this video can be a little, I think, controversial or a little spicy. So please watch the whole video before you're gonna leave a comment and don't just assume what I'm gonna say. Thank you. Now, this topic is not something new or something just happening right now. This is a question that gets raised in the media by somebody and almost every year, once or twice or 3 times. I don't count, but when I say somebody, I mean somebody who does not look like a white Norwegian or someone who's immigrant. What usually is coming up in the media is usually, well, I was born and raised in Norway. Can I call myself Norwegian? And I have a Norwegian citizenship. Can I call myself Norwegian? Well, the answer to that is, I will say, is yes, no, and complicated. I'm going to use myself as an example. So, super quick info about me. I came to Norway when I was 7 years old. I have been living in Norway for 20 plus years. I do hold a Norwegian citizenship, a Norwegian passport. And I speak the language and I can write the language and I understand the culture. When you look at me as a stranger, let's just say we never met before, and what will your guess be if you see me? Like if you're gonna guess where am I really from? You probably won't guess that I'm from Norway. You probably gonna assume that I am somewhere from Asia. Well, I mean, if you were gonna be completely honest, because I do look Asian. That's just a physical fact that I do not look like a Norwegian. However, on paper, I do consider myself Norwegian because I have a Norwegian citizenship, I hold a Norwegian passport, and that's great because when I go traveling, I just show them here, this is a Norwegian passport because a Norwegian passport is considered one of the best in the world. Anyways, I do count as one of the 5 million population in the statistic, and I know the language, I know the culture, I can write the language, I can speak it, and I do consider myself to be pretty well integrated into the society here. When the question gets raised about can I call myself Norwegian by immigrants who was born here but their parents came from a different country, and can I call myself Norwegian even when I don't look like one? That's the question. I personally think people can call themselves whatever they want. That's their choice. They have the freedom to do it. But at the same time, it's a little bit kind of unfair, and the expectation is too high when you kind of expect the entire society to kind of just call you a Norwegian and deny the fact that you were your parents and your ancestors were from somewhere else. I have been living in Norway for 20 plus years now, and I have never considered myself physically Norwegian. And when people ask me where I'm from, I always tell them I'm Chinese. And don't get me wrong, this has nothing to do with me being like, oh, I am super proud to be Chinese. No, nothing like that. I'm just telling them that I'm Chinese because, well, I'm from China, my parents are Chinese, my ancestor and my whole family are Chinese. I'm just saying that as a fact. Whenever people ask me where I'm from, I never get offended by that, not at all. I tell them, I'm Chinese, like I said. The reason they ask me is not because they have some racist intention or want to tell me to go back to my own country or like go back to China. Usually it's like 99% of the time is because they wanted to know me better, and that's it. I guess the main reason is because these people want to be accepted in the society here. So you're allowed to tell the story, I guess. I can't speak for them since I haven't heard a story personally, and maybe they have experienced something bad. I don't know. Now, I want to reverse the situation a little bit here. Let's just say that a white Norwegian was adopted by 2 Japanese parents in Japan. That child growing up don't speak a word Norwegian, know nothing about Norway, they only speak Japanese, they only know Japanese culture. Now, of course, that Norwegian person they themselves probably will feel like a Japanese person because they only speak Japanese and their mindset is all Japanese culture, nothing to do with Norway. The only difference is that, well, people will probably look at that person very differently because, you know, he or she does not look like a Japanese person, so people will probably be curious. That person looks like a Westerner, and if people meet him for the first time, and maybe they start guessing, you know, where he or she is from, because they don't know. They want to get to know him better, and also, like, Japan being a homogeneous society, so they are probably more likely to ask. And the situation here in Norway is, pretty much the same. Like, me as an Asian person, I speak the language, I know the culture, I know how the society functions here, but I do not look like a physical Norwegian. So, of course, other Norwegians won't ask me where I'm from. Simple fact is because like, in Norway, the majority are white Norwegians. In Japan or China are majority, Japanese or Chinese, and of course, you don't look like them. People will be a little curious about where you're from, without having bad intentions. Now, back to the issue. I can understand to a certain point why this question is being raised. I believe this is just more about being accepted into the society without being questioned where you're from. But it usually has to do something with discrimination. Like discrimination do exist in Norway, and now if you are from let's just say a non-white country moving to Norway, will you be experiencing discrimination? Well, if you are walking down the street, 99% of the time, no one is going to be racist towards you. I can guarantee you that. But however, there is discrimination especially in the job market, and when it comes to renting apartment. Like, I can do a whole video about that if you guys want. But anyways, like, if you're gonna apply for a job, especially, and when the Norwegian boss see the application, and when they see that your name is not usually a typical Norwegian name, you are more likely to not be called into an interview, and that does happen here. So I can kind of understand, why a lot of people feel a little frustrated and a little also upset. Like, they don't understand, like, I speak the language, I integrate well into the society, I know everything, but my native name is the only difference, it's only the reason why I don't get the job. I can understand why they get upset. Although, like, I haven't experienced discrimination in the job market, at least not that I know of. Those times I don't get called into the interview or didn't get the job, I had never felt because it was discrimination. I felt it's more because I didn't qualify for it and somebody was better qualified. Of course, the question being like, can you call yourself Norwegian even when you don't look like one? I mean, well, yes, no, and complicated. So I'm gonna put an end to this here. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope I really didn't offend anybody, because I do believe I tried to stay as neutral and respectful as I could. Anyway, see you next time.